In this tutorial, we're going to work on building the office, which is going to be our interior within our exterior. So we've got our interior office, and then we've got our exterior environment, which is going to be our factory warehouse sort of thing. So we're going to work out the overall size of the office, and then we're going to isolate and just work on building this. I'm going to say it's like a 1960s sort of porter cabin. It's the sort of thing you quite often see in like sort of workshops and garages, where when they're such big buildings, it's like really easy to just sort of forklift in one of these little sort of porter cabin-y shaped kind of offices, and quite often you see them sort of like dilapidated with these really thin windows and a little electric heaters inside, with someone sitting in there watching everyone do the work. So everyone else do the work, should I say. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press T to go into the top view. I'm going to zoom out, press F3. And what I might just do again is just select all these bits of roof here. And I know there's nothing else to grab there, so that's why I just drew it across the back there. And then right click and then hide selection. Okay, so we can see what we're doing. And I think we want our office sort of near this staircase. I'll press G to get rid of the grid, because the grid tends to hurt my eyes. And then I'm going to go to box, because we're going to start off with a box, of course. And then I'm going to just draw it somewhere around here. I'll have to turn my snap off, or it's going to go to the middle there. And I'll maybe pop it about here. Now, I'm just going to make it a general size, and then I'm going to actually log in or key in the actual sizes. So I've decided to make my office, just check what's that, yeah, it's the right way. So I'm going to make it 3.5, just to round up in that direction. And I'm going to make the width 4, so it's slightly wider than it is long. And then height should be, I think I made it 2.5. 2.5. And that can be adjusted later if needed. Oh, that's the wrong one, sorry. Just overdid that one there. Oh, I need to get the modifier out, there we go. And then the height, I should have put it in the height, I don't know why I did it there. And then I must have forgot to click, so pop it in the height, 2.5. And then I'll hit enter. Alright, so let's have a look. I'll press C, so that's our office there. So I might just pull it back a little bit. Feels a little bit close to the camera right now. I'll just pull that back. See how that looks, yeah. That's a bit better. The next thing we'll do is we'll isolate the box so that the rest of the scene isn't in the way as we're modelling this. So if I right click, and with the rectangle selected as I do here, and we go to isolate selection, that's the rest of our scene. I'll press P to get out of the camera, so we're going to move that. And we've got our box. Now this is going to be our front of our office. And so on this side we're going to put some doors and some windows. So like I say, I've sort of planned this off the image of an old sort of office that was stuck in an abandoned, so what wasn't abandoned but an old warehouse. So I'm going to hit F to go into the front view. Oh, sorry, close that, I don't know why I opened that. And what we're going to do now is we're going to start cutting out all the parts we need. But a bit like when we made the warehouse, we're going to basically detach the walls of the office, because otherwise you can get issues when you're trying to like do your cuts across like the whole box. And also when you add a thickness to your walls, they can quite often, if you like try to shell it, you'll have issues with these corners, especially once you've cut into them as well. It can cause all sorts of problems basically that you don't want to get into. So I'll just press F3 so I can see the box, and then I'm going to right click and I'm going to convert it to an editable poly, because I don't want that box anymore. I know it's the correct size, so I don't need to keep it. So I'm going to go to polygon selection, and I'll select the top one here, the roof, and I'm going to detach it. And then the front I'm going to detach the back, or the side, sorry, and this side as well. Detach. And then detach the bottom, so it's just the back that's still there. Right, and then because I know that I don't want a thickness for this, the ground one. Oops, sorry, I need to get out of this because I don't want the back one anymore. I want this one here. So because I know this is going to be the ground, and I don't want a thickness to it, or I don't want one yet anyway, I'm just going to flip it. So I'm going to flip the norm, so because currently, if you looked at it from the inside, it would appear transparent and you would just see through it, and you wouldn't be able to like apply material that you could see. So we just need to flip that currently. So if I go and select the face, it's already selected, and then hit flip, you can see that see-through. And if we rendered that right now, you would see right through it. Because there's no lights though, you wouldn't see anything, but if you did. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to unselect that. This is our front, because that's in our front view, that's our side. So this is where we're going to build our doors and windows. And just remember, we're going to add thicknesses to all of these. So I might do that now actually. What I'll do with this top one, I'm not sure whether I'm going to use this top one or if I'm going to add a new one, so I might just pull it up for now. I'll maybe just pull it up and over and away, just so it's not in the way anymore. I'd hide it, but then when I unhide it, I'd bring back the rest of the scene, which I don't want to do, so that's why I'm just shifting it over for now. And then we'll just quickly add some thicknesses here. So with this wall, I'll go to the shell modifier. And then we want it to be the inner amount, and we'll make that 0.1. And then what we'll do is we'll just copy this. Oh, cancel. What am I doing there? Sorry, that should have been a right click and then copy. There we go. And then paste. So we've got our copy there. And then with these ones, now before we just applied it and then used the edit poly, but we could actually just do that now. So we'll just, while we've got our edit poly here, we'll just move these in. Whoops, let's grab it again. And then turn my snap on and snap that there. Same again here. Remember, I've got my snap on a 3-dimensional snap. Same again there. And we just need to do the other end as well, obviously. Snap that onto the end there. And we'll snap that onto the end there. And then what we can do is, now we've done that, we'll just paste the shell on top. And we'll do that again here. So we now have our thickness of our walls in our office. So they're not particularly thick, certainly not as thick as external walls, but that's what you'd expect. I think what I've done is actually probably slightly thicker again, but we can always inset parts and add thickness and things elsewhere. So what I'll do now is I will just go for the front view, make sure I've got that front wall selected, or you make sure you do. And what I'm going to do now is pop from the modifier list and edit poly on top. And then we can start cutting and making rectangles for the shapes that we need and where they're going to go. So I know that we'll want like a thickness to our wall of 100 mm before we put our door in. So that's relatively simple. What I'll try and do is I'll just go to the edit poly, make sure I've got that selected. You see we've got our modeling tools. Now we might be able to, I'll just pop it in because we know that the Swift loop doesn't snap to things that are further back, but once we've made it, we should be able to pop that in. So let's just see, hopefully it will. Yep, so it's snapped there now. And we'll probably want to do the same at the other end. So I'll go to Swift loop and I'll click just here, so it's close enough. And I'll snap that there. And now what we'll do is we'll make some rectangles again to set exact sizes. Now, as I said to you, when you're not sure about sizes, you need to make sure that you research all things that you've got at hand. So I've measured the door to the office that I'm working in right now. So I think that our door will be roughly that size, within reason. I think it was like 1.9 meters. So I'm gonna round it up to 2 meters high. and I also measured that it was 0.75, so 750 millimeters wide. So I'm just going to click and drag this rectangle, and I'm going to, oh, it's almost right anyway. So, oops, make that 2, just round it up, and this one's 7.5. 7.5. So we've got that at the right size. Now usually there'll be a bit of a step up, so I'll maybe move this up 100. So where it's in the y-axis, we'll right click on the move and we'll offset my screen in the y. We'll make that 0.1. So we've added a little bit of height there, and then we'll just snap it up to this this sort of edge line that we've made. So the next thing we'll need to do is obviously cut our door in and cut our height of our door, and maybe cut this as well. There's probably some gap underneath here for like lifting the porter cabin into the building. So what I'm going to do now is we'll go back to selecting our wall, and we've got the edit poly here, and we'll go to the Swift loop, and I'll make it close enough, and then remember we'll actually move them so that they're snapped into the correct place. I'm just drawing boxes and pulling all of the vertexes into place. So we've now got our door spot here, which is nice. And in these porter cabins, they quite often have like the sort of the frames touching each other, like there are big sections that are just placed in. Now I am just going to make up that the windows are half the height of the door, which is probably roughly what it would be. So what we could do is, instead of doing the Swift loop, we'll grab all of these edges. So I went to edge selection and just grab all of them across here, and then hit connect, and it will put one halfway up. Very nice. We can do the same again this way, just to indicate where the middle is. We're not actually going to probably use that, but just so it's there. And you're going to see now that we've got our door shape here and our windows here. So what we need to do now is cut them out. So I'll press F2. So if you don't see the red, you need to hit F2. And we'll select that and select that. And we'll select it on that side. So it's actually bang up against there. So I'll maybe move it in a little bit after, but I can decide to do that probably later. And then we've also got the gap for our windows. So what we can do here is delete these ones. We could actually you know what? We'll delete this back one, and we'll grab this and we'll just pull that forward, and holding shift pull that forward, and then it says we'll do a clone and make it a new object because it's going to be a window, isn't it? So, oh, did that work? Let's try that again. I'll turn snap off, maybe that's all. Let me try that again. Clone to object. Oh, we don't want to clone. Let's see if that works. Oh no, it's worked that time. I don't know what happened before. It's worked this time. So, and then we'll just go back. Now we've cloned that, and we'll delete these. Oh, we'd already deleted that other side, didn't we? Confusing myself here. There we go. So we'll delete that. And then we'll go to this one and delete. And delete. And that should be it. So that must be where our copy went. It might be because I had snap on, it snapped it there. There we go. So we've now got all of our edges. Now you can see here there's a gap. Now you probably won't see that when it's all closed up, but what I'll do for now is I can, if I had the right bit of wall selected, I can bridge these. So if I grab those two edges, which I have, even though you can't see it very easily, and then I can go to bridge, and you'll see it's now closed that up. And we'll just go around and close those edges. Now, as we're building this, just remember there's multiple ways of building the same thing. So this is just how I would do it. And what you quite often find after you've built something is that you figure out you could have done it a quicker way. Which is just typical. But you will learn, and the more you do it, the better you get. Quite often before you build something, it's a good idea to just have a bit of fun and, you know, build a fun object for like an hour before you start building your main one, you know, just to loosen up and get your skills in order. So the last bit here, so that's that all closed up. So, and I've also got this bit here that I can use for my window, and I'll just go to the hierarchy tool and effect pivot, and I'll center it to the object, and then you just need to turn that back off again. And then that would go in there, roughly. Right, so let's stop there. Make sure you do a save. So remember, you go to your file, and then save as, and then you hit your little plus here. And then we'll pick up the next one, and we'll make the doors and the windows for the office.